Good morning and welcome back to Ulti TV's live coverage of the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships here on the gorgeous beaches of Villa Simius, Sardinia. I am Ali Thomas, joined by the wonderful Benji Rees, and we are here to watch the second semi-final of the day. Young legends from Germany in white, and Man Down, who are on your screen now, in the dark blue. They are from the US of A. Are returning this year, and they have some new additions, so we will see if they will be able to take down their first American team today and potentially a second one later. And that pull is going to bounce out of the back of the end zone and be carried quite a distance away. You can see the wind tipping the underside of the disc up and over, so it'll be a long walk for Pirelli up to the brick mark. But obviously on a slightly smaller beach pitch with the wind, not always going to go according to plan. So an immediate break and an immediate turn for the young legends. I think the wind just making that throw a little bit more difficult as it was a very low release. So Man Down have an opportunity to start this game with a break. A little bit of bumping, but no calls. Nice swing across. Pointing where he wants it, but instead finds Lebonge. Germans calling for the left force. Pirelli on the mark. Lots of gesticulating from Stewart, but dumps back to Seal. And Seal finds Wang. Close to the end zone now. Wang's looking for the dump. Finds Stewart. And there's a pit call. Sun's out, guns out, as they say. Got eyes on Lebonge. And Reardon clears out. He's got Wang behind. Oh, and it's going to be a miscommunication. The wind is going to tip that over the outstretched hands of several players.
Kind of like Man Down did there.
Very nice. And that's a lovely crossfield pass and just bounces out of the hands of Learman, not able to collect it. And now we have Man Down knocking on the end zone door. Nice short pass to Stewart. He's looking for Lebonge, but credit to the Germans for good defense there. There's another call. So the disc will be tapped in for Stewart. Fakes the round. Looks to Seal to get free. Seal right on the end zone line, and he's got two players free on the open side. So Reardon with the score and a break to start this semi-final. We have seen, I believe, both teams come out with a zone earlier in this tournament. It would be foolish to come to a beach tournament without a zone in the locker, and that is going to be bricked. Interesting that he didn't want to take it where it went out.
Yeah, maybe thinking that with the wind forcing towards this sideline, getting it in the middle makes it a lot less likely to get trapped.
Very true. And a little sidestep to where the brick mark is. Got a nice upfield pull. He's got a deep cut going, but I think in these conditions, not going to be thrown. Goes to ground to take it. Young legends working it nicely around the back. You can see they're putting a lot of spin on these discs and throwing short passes just like Man Down were. Schoenberg on the sideline. This is that downwind sideline, so much harder to get a break upfield. But he finds Hertha. He's got Klima in the end zone. Klima collects. We are one apiece.
No, I got your point there, Ali. You know, it's these things, especially because, you know, young legends were the runners-up in the last edition of this tournament. You know, they will, even if they haven't necessarily played together, you know, you'll be familiar with some of your opponents. You know, you'll have seen them at previous editions, and you build up those little friendly rivalries and friendships with your opponents.
So Man Down with a quick start to the point. The cross swings to Schaff. Schaff dumps back to Smith. Smith looking upfield. He's got a deep full across, but unfortunately the wind, or potentially a thrower error. Yeah, both teams have quite long rosters. We've got 14 for the Young Legends side, 16 for Man Down. So almost 3 full lines.
And we mentioned we might see some zone defense, and we're seeing some here from Man Down. really trying to sag off those handlers, make them thread it through the middle, but they did find the pass there to Vital.
Absolutely lovely shot past the outstretched hands of Iwasco. A man down swinging and looking to the end zone, and well collected by Christian Lang past the diving body of Colin Smith. Just really nice swinging and then utilising the break side by Young Legends there.
That is a very welcome surprise. I thought they were just loosening up for the final later, but well, maybe they're doing that as well.
Either way, we're very appreciative. Thank you, Team America. So we've got man down. Oh, wow, that was an incredible grab from behind his head. There's going to be a bit of a discussion about maybe whether there was some contact on the throw, but a slap of the hands. Jens Schoeneberg, perhaps a bit in awe of that snag.
I was reasonably happy with that one. See those distinctive calf compression sleeves? I mean, that was weird, but when the weather's like this, Frisbee, the ultimate is going to get a little bit weird, and it's who can adjust and who can, cope with the fact that it's not always going to be pretty.
Yeah, a little bobble on the catch there. It is so much harder to field those discs when they come with a little bit of extra edge from the wind. Man down making lots of small passes, and then a lovely round to Lacrosse, goes to ground to take it.
His hat's come off. I thought it was surgically glued to his head.
Well, in the semi-finals, anything is possible. Oh, and there's a bit of a sand in the eye call, perhaps. It looked like Stewart, while trying to get round Schoeneberg there, maybe gave him a little bit of an elbow in the face.
There's, just nice little back slaps on the sideline, checking your teammates and opponents are okay. Good spirit being displayed again here.
Lacrosse has got a couple of players on the break side, but Young Legends clamp back to Lacrosse. Finds the bunch, who puts a lovely shot up to the end zone. Is it fielded? It is not.
Almost eliminates the deep game, so you know that defenders are going to sit underneath you to try and stop those underneath passes. The question is, can you still work your way free regardless of that pressure?
Got Hertel on the sideline, finds Achenbach. And that is a bladey flick. It's going to sit beautifully. Oh my word, that was an incredibly weighted throw.
A little better.
Yes, and it does feel like the turns that Young Legends have been able to either force or that the wind is forcing have been shorter field and closer to their own end zone. So perhaps a bit of luck in play for Young Legends as well. So we'll see if that holds for them or if man down can get it together a bit. They're certainly looking good at the moment. Lots of low throws. And oh my God, I think Lacrosse knows exactly what he did wrong there as he clutches his head. And Young Legends will have the disc about halfway up the pitch.
Yeah, half-time Hooters is going in the background, so we'll finish the point. Add one to that for a half-time point cap.
And that is called in bounds, but not in the end zone. So we've got Herter. Thinks about the hammer, but instead, a bladey throw that just can't be hung on to. The wind whipping your hair around. It's, as you say, in your head that things are going to be much more difficult. And could this be a Callahan? No, it is not. But it looks like there may be a foul, maybe a little bit of bumping.
I thought he threw that and then no one touched it. So that should be a turn, and indeed
it is. Of course, yes, he was the thrower. So
veteran move, catching your own throw to prevent a Callahan.
That is true, but that is a score by Ingo Hertel, who tosses the disc behind him. Very understated score. That is very true. They say the wind is a leveler, and it certainly is in some cases, but in other cases it can really expose all of the weaknesses in your game.
It is a cruel mistress.
Man down working it really nicely at the moment. Lacrosse on the far sideline, looks to the end zone, finds Smith, and Smith finds Schaff for a very fluid and much easier score than man down have had. It's a lot.
It's a lot blowy.
So we have seen in previous days the wind kind of dying down in the afternoon. However, we have got games at 2, 3 and 4 this afternoon. So they may have equally tough conditions for teams to battle through. As Young Legends working out the pitch, that's a lovely inside shot to Herter.
Hertel's such a downfield weapon for this Young Legends side.
And that's a very beautiful round shot to Claudia Hermeking. First time we've seen her on this game, I believe. Tim Kohlstadt goes to ground, but manages to save the throw. Young Legends working very hard, and a foul from Le Bonge.
Yeah, just the pivot.
And sometimes it's hard to avoid all contact. So safe dump back to Logan, looking to the end zone. Well kept in by Hertel, and a lovely break throw. Another relatively easy point. Both teams just sort of ignoring this wind at this point.
Yeah, and that'll take us into half-time. Yeah, they have provided the discs for this tournament. You can see the Eurodisc flags that are really whipping back and forth in the background of the shot.
Oh gosh, brave catching the pull there. Oh, and it's going to bobble, but caught on a second attempt by a diving Tulchin. Excellently read. Swings to Iwasco. Oh, but Achenbach gets another interception. Chooses not to dump it off to Stefansson. Hertel in the middle of the pitch, looks around. No pass is too small. So there was a pick-up field, but we're back in with Kohlstadt on the disc. Swings to Achenbach. They're on that slightly easier sideline to throw from. Finds Hermeking. Hermeking breaks to Hertel. And Hertel with a big hammer looking for Kohlstadt, but instead finds Stefansson, who manages to hang on to it after a little bit of juggling.
Visionary. Visionary. Exactly how they drew it up, I'm sure.
Of course, they practice that in training all the time.
Yeah, especially because this semi-final is, you know, one game slot later. Your opponents have a little bit more of a chance to rest. They're watching this game as well, quite loud on the sidelines, so they're doing some scouting. Maybe you want to have a game where you don't show them everything as well.
Yeah, very true. We haven't seen a zone from either of these teams yet, so maybe Young Legends are going to wait until the final to bring that out. There's a nice catch by Stewart, and that's a big IO shot to Le Bonge. Oh, it looked like if he'd managed to catch that, it could even have been in.
But he can't quite keep the edge that he wanted.
So Young Legends on their end zone line. A floaty pass to Lang. Lang looking long, swings instead to Pirelli. They're inside their own end zone now. Pirelli up the line. But instead Lang dodging and gets free. Not a lot of upfield options. He's trying to dump back to, oh my gosh. And I think under a lot of pressure from Le Bonge on the mark.
Go there for the Swedish. Go there for the Swedish. Ah, the opportunity's gone.
So isolating in the front of the end zone, but snagged by the tall frame of Vital, who will jog it up to the front line. And he's got Struber streaking deep. Doesn't fancy it. He's got several players streaking deep. Still doesn't fancy it. On the third time of asking, it's intercepted by Mark Pletcher. But it looks like there's going to be a foul call on the throw. Le Bonge has his hands on his knees, shaking his head. It's going to be a bit of a discussion. 2 thumbs up from Le Bonge. I think it's not going to go back. Oh, and that's a lovely high release. He's looking for Le Bonge in the end zone. It's always a reliable option. We've got Pletcher. It's got Le Bonge on the break side, doesn't fancy it. Oh, and the disc just pops out of the hands of Tim Goldsmith straight up in the air, not able to track it. So Pirelli swings, finds Struber upfield. Struber normally found in the end zone. Finds Lehmann.
Nice. Sorry, I was going to say nice little switch there defensively to make the players have to move a little bit less.
Struber lays out to make the catch. He's standing in the middle of the field about the brick mark. Dumps back to Pirelli. Pirelli finds Lehmann. They're getting pretty close. And a beautiful floaty shot finds Rudi Vital on the other side of the end zone. And the Young Legends look damn near dominant at this stage. And the wind certainly sped it up, but not as much, not too much to kind of bring it out of bounds.
Yeah, really getting the snap of the wrist there to generate as many revolutions as possible as the disc goes for a little bit of a wander after landing.
Yeah, it's nearly in the other pitch actually. Oh no, it's still a side stack just on the other side of the pitch. Okay, so the disc is on the front of the end zone line. Still there. And that throw is going to sail out of bounds and come back in to be caught by Stefan Klima. for O'Callaghan. It's going to be a tough one to find that mental energy to keep battling in these conditions for the American team.
Hooter goes for 5 minutes left before the soft cap comes on.
Disc lands at the feet of Pletcher. Up to Smith, swings to Wang. Wang back to Pletcher. This is a really nice kind of moving it between the handers from man down. We have seen them be very clinical at points. It's a nice upfield shot to Schwartz. Oh, a cheeky little pop to Pletcher. Wang gets free upfield, despite Pirelli trying to get in the way. Swings back to Pletcher. Thinks about the across. Schwartz instead, back to Pletcher. And he sets, and he was right, I think, to lick it off earlier.
Tiny little bit of IO shape on it as well, so it flattens out on release.
So Pirelli looking pretty static, and everything else looking pretty static. Achenbach cuts from the front of the stack, finds Learman. He's looking deep, but fakes for Struber to come under, and that's a really nice upfield cut from Achenbach, but the lead pass was too leady, so man down have another chance at their offense. Stewart to Smith. Smith gets the swing off to Pletcher, and Pletcher lets rip with a huge one, but it's just a little bit too huge for Stewart to chase down.
A little bit of a punt, but unfortunately there aren't any style points in this game.
No, I mean, I'm sure we can award some style points for them, but they won't help you get any actual scoreboard points.
More's the pity.
So we've got Young Legends on the front of their end zone line, and it's a huge shot, but it's not going to come back in. So
anyone get?
So we've got Pletcher on the sideline. He's thinking about the IO break to Smith. Slightly congested on the upfield, breaks round, and Smith catches it on the second attempt. Nice cut from the front of the stack from Pletcher. He's got Schwartz on the break side, and now Stewart on the break side. And Stewart chases it down. Is that called? I think that was called out. Schwartz just kind of fell out of the pitch as he caught the disc. So Young Legends again on offense. We've got Vital on disc looking upfield. Pirelli cuts across the front. Gets it there. Both teams looking quite tired at this point. Achenbach puts out a lovely IO break to Christian Lang, who looked like he wasn't even expecting it.
Oh, that was a delicious throw.
Got Achenbach again. Thinks about the break to Pirelli, but Stewart is able to stop it and throws a big hammer to Struber, who I think maybe about half an hour ago might have had the juice to put the rockets on and get that, but everyone's looking quite tired at this point.
Didn't affect anything, the throw was going to go anyway, so the turnover stands.
So that's just bobbles out of the hand of Colin Smith, and he looks very upset as he gets to his feet and puts the mark on Rudi Vital. Achenbach again. Oh, he fakes a high release, swings instead to Pirelli. Pirelli looking for Achenbach again. Instead, does not find Lehmann, who does make an effort for it. But this is turning into quite a turn fest of a point as the wind whips the pitch into a bit of a flurry.
And the one thing you want to be, as the hooter goes for the end of the game, is, you know, if you want to really play the best in these conditions, you want to be at full fitness. And when the points grind out, it's difficult to do that as Smith jumps into the end zone for the goal.
A little bit of a roly-poly there. Nice assist by Wang. And Smith lies on his back. There is a man down for man down. He holds up his hand for Adam Schwartz to give him a bit of a pull through his feet.
Or someone with the brains to intentionally turn over in the other team's end zone, so you can set up the Callahan.
Yeah, I suppose you could have a fake world record.
Galaxy brain strategy.
So we've got a fresh set of legs for both teams. I don't think anybody on that last point wanted to come back out. Actually, no, I'm lying. Stewart has decided to come on again after that point. A big bladey throw goes. Is it going to be red? It is! And that is game for the Young Legends. A point scored by Ingo Hertler. Wow.
Stephen Lebonge on his knees in the end zone, tried his best, but Herzl got a very good read on it. And Young Legends, second time in a row, will take their place in the final of the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships.
It felt almost like a bit of an anticlimactic point after the struggle fest we had in the last one. But a point is a point, and credit to Man Down for really fighting, not giving up despite being many points in the hole, and credit to Young Legends for just, as always, really putting on a clinic of how to play Beach Ultimate in the Great Grandmasters division.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.